Good morning. Oh, it's been a good night's sleep. Look at this here outside. We got the moon over our little shiny mountain. Yesterday, I wrote to a Mr. John from. He's attached to the Cancer Research Institute in the USA. Prostate Cancer Research Institute in the USA. They've got a lot of videos with Dr. Schultz and Erica. I think it's Erica, her name is. And I've been following that for a long time, or not a long time, but I've been following them and I've been using them as a source for good information. They're a really, really good channel for prostate cancer. Highly recommended if you don't know them. Anyway, right around the time that I got my PSA and I had my first meeting with the urologist, obviously it was a very new area. So I contacted, based on a link they had in one of the videos, a helpline. And I got a response about a couple of weeks later from a Mr. John, and he, among other things, gave me a few links that I should watch specific to my case. And he also advised me to do the PSMA test. That was the first time I heard about that one. So I'm very grateful for it because, yeah, I did that one eventually. So he was very helpful then. And now when I came back with my PSMA test in my hand, I got kicked out of the support group. I no longer had a good source of information, so I can make qualified decisions. And doing all the research yourself is obviously very, very much uphill. It's a lot of time-consuming work. So I wrote to him and explained to him the situation, that I have got since I wrote to him last time, that I had my 5+4 Gleason 9, that I had a PSMA test done, and it was based on only 3 cores on my biopsy, but PSMA came back with 1 single metastasis, and that my PSA is declining from 120 and now down to 78.71. And so I also told him that my urologist wanted it just to give me ADT and nothing else, since he now knew that it had metastasized. But he also admitted that he would have given me radiation plus ADT if he had not known it had metastasized. Now, I don't get it why he would choose only ADT because of 1 single lymph node. But anyway, so I wrote this information for him, and he came back with an answer already. I mean, this is early morning, and I open up my the computer, and the first thing I see is a message from Mr. John, a very thorough mail where he's very meticulously going through the different points I had. And he had some very good points. Among of others, he says, you have a chance to save your life now because of the technology that we didn't have just 2 years ago. You know that you had a metastasis and you know how you can handle it. So he suggested that I did radiation. I don't play around with my PSA, and that I maybe do focal therapy for that specific lymph node, and that I do ADT in order to catch whatever cancer is floating in the bloodstream as it is now. Because it has metastasized, then there is a risk of that. He also pointed out something else that I should have thought of, because we know, or I know, that the PSMA test is 93%, catches 93% of all cancers. That means there are 7% of cancers that is not there. That's a chance. Is there something? Isn't there something? But as he said, the technology is the best right now. I mean, it's only been approved by FDA 2 years ago. But I should say, it only has its limitations, that it can only spot with a probability cancers of a size of more than 5 millimeters. That means 4 millimeters and down, it won't spot it. Maybe not. And as he says, there's a high likelihood that you have micrometastases when you do have 1 metastasis that is caught by the PSMA scan. And in order to combat all that, he said I would do probably 12 to 18 months of ADT, and in conjunction with radiation therapy for the prostate. So that is what I'm looking at right now. I'm not saying that I don't want to do anything medical intervention, because it is obviously also the truth that all the people that die of cancer, they die if they've got a Gleason 8, 9, and 10, and then depending on how effective their treatment are and so on and so forth. and I'm in the upper 9, so it's not a game. I still won't be doing anything though until beginning of February. And beginning of February, I will do something. In the meantime, I have to look at what it costs to have this done. If I got to do a 12 months hormone therapy, that is 36,000 baht already. And I don't know what the price is for radiation, but the initial research seems to indicate between 85 and 180,000 baht for the radiation therapy. That depends on the length and how much and so on. So that is more than I can handle right now. And as such, if that's the price, and that's what I got to figure out until the 1st of February, then I'll probably have to go to Denmark and get some help there. So that's where we are. It's a very interesting progress, but I like the fact that I got a very quick response and now very concrete can go look for specific details on treatments. I want to know exactly how radiation works. And I also want to know why I keep hearing independent people saying that if you're using ADT, you are putting the cancer to sleep, you're not killing it. But then again, some say you are killing it, and some say that you're shrinking it. My own urologist says killing and shrinking. John, he mentioned dormant, shrinking, and killing. So I have to look a little bit further into the details of that, because one of my objections to hormone treatment is I don't want to do something that just puts my cancer to sleep. I want to do that as a handbrake to avoid it escalates further if that has a value. And you could argue it does have a value right now because it's only one single lymph node, and as long as it stays like that, it is with a high probability of curing. And I don't want that to escalate into something that has a lower probability of curing. But I don't see ADT as being any particularly good other than that. I'd much rather want radiation or chemotherapy as it looks, but that's me without knowing too much about the different treatments really. I'm just not a fan of something that just puts cancer to sleep. I want it killed. So I will continue my own protocol alongside of it, and knowing that it seems to work effectively, I believe that it will just be an even more effective impact on everything and altogether if I do go into treatment, or not when I go into treatment. It's quite sure that I have to do something about it. He says it doesn't matter if your PSA is 80 or 10. When it has metastasized on at least a 9, it's something that has to be attended to urgently. But obviously the big question is, why is my PSA declining? Am I killing off, or what am I doing with the cancer since my PSA is declining? That's what I want to know. Because if I'm killing it, then it's not bad. And this is the measurement, the tool by which they measure success when they're doing hormone therapy or chemotherapy or radiation therapy. They're using the PSA as a measurement. And then only in the last instance, if something's wrong and they don't know why, they'll use a PSMA again in order to verify if there's something spread. So I know it's fear, and I know it's habit, and I know in what if it's talking. But the what if has two sides, but yeah, it's a gamble, because I don't want to gamble with my life. I want to do it if I have a very high grade of certainty that I still have the handbrake to pull if it doesn't work. Anyway, this was vlog 7 with a little positive feedback from a cancer survivor in the US. Until next time, stay healthy.